Please welcome Sandra Yancy.
I do love you. I love you. Thank you.
Look at the food. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's unbelievable. Oh my God. I gotta get a picture. Hold on. One, two, three. Oh, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Oh my gosh, this is like, I was thinking about how many times I've been to Connecticut, and I think it's been two other times besides this. But I came for the Elizabeth Arden Red Door Spa here, right? And then I have a girlfriend, Fabienne, that lives here, and yes, of course. And then but I've never been at quite this part of the world to experience the Long Island Sound, and just getting up and doing my meditation in the morning has been quite spectacular. I'm really honored to be with you. And I have a core message. I'm going to ask Annie to be the time cop. Keep me on time, because I have a high value for time. I have some things that I want to share with you, and then I just want to make sure we have some time for some girl talk, right? Where you can ask me any questions that you might be curious about. Does that make sense? Does that sound good? Okay, so be thinking about it as we go, and I want you to know, who are my tweeters in the room? So I'm going to say, Annie said it in the very beginning, absolutely get your phones out. Ewomen Network is built on three core, some people call them values, we call them tenets. And everything that we do and everything that we launch, we always ask if it fits within these three core tenets, because it's very easy as entrepreneurs to get distracted, right? That how many of you suffer from the shiny object syndrome like me, right? And this is a way to help keep you focused on what really matters. And at Ewomen Network, our philosophy is first and foremost, give first and share always. So I always say, get your phones out, and if you hear something that's resonating with you and connecting with you, then share it with your tribe. I just fundamentally believe that the more you help other people, and you never know. See, to me, it's not about everything that I say today for you. It's about what's the one thing. What's the one thing that can change everything, right? And so you never know how you can impact someone else. And when you show up and help other people, I just feel like the universe rearranges itself and looks at ways to serve you back. Anybody agree with me on this? So because we believe in giving first and sharing always, you don't have to. I have almost 30,000 people that follow me. But if you decide that you want to include my handle, which is Sandra Yancy, EWN, then I just want you to know that while I'm on the train tomorrow going to Washington, D.C., I will sit there and I will retweet every one of your tweets to the 30,000 people that follow me, and then I'll have my corporate staff retweet them to the 20-some thousand people that follow eWomen Network. So just like that, boom, you'll get exposure to another 50,000 people that aren't in the room tonight. How about that, right? Now, some of you might be saying, okay, so by show of hands, tell me, how many of you in this room have a local business? Okay, all right, good. Now, here's what I want you to hear, because this is really important, okay, and the foundation of everything that I'm going to share with you this evening, and that is this. You can build an amazingly successful, multi-million-dollar local business, and I want you to know that. Here's what I can pretty much guarantee that you can't do, and that is build an amazingly successful local business thinking locally. Are you tracking with me? This is really important because I believe if I look at kind of my journey, and you need to know, I mean, I'm a small town girl from Dayton, Ohio, right? I mean, I was raised, right? Dayton? All right. Okay. And then Marilyn, where's Marilyn? Whose last name is Dayton, right? Okay. So here's what I can tell you. I was raised by a single mom, right? My father died on my birthday when I turned 5 years old. I'm first generation American. My mother is from Mexico. My father, a Lopez. My father is French Canadian. My maiden name's Goulet. And they met in, of all places, Detroit, Michigan. Right? And unfortunately, my father, was killed in a car accident, killed instantly on my birthday when I turned 5. I was raised by a single mom for a number of years who was the last thing. You'd call my mom a lot of things. You would not call her lazy, right? But she couldn't get a job because she couldn't read English well enough to get a driver's license. So she had to first learn English and master English enough to be able to get a driver's license. Because, in Dayton, Ohio, it's not like we got mass transit, right? All right. So I had a brother who also was killed instantly in a car accident when I was 26. He was 27. But he was born with a heart defect. So he was raised in a home where we were always told to be quiet. Because whenever Ricky could fall asleep, right, we just needed to let him have his rest, right? And so I don't come from a pedigree of a tremendous amount of success. But what I did have was my mother that just had so much wisdom from having been raised in a convent as an orphan and knew that she wanted something bigger and better for herself. And while it didn't turn out to be that way for her, she was committed to make sure that she raised children that would have the opportunity to have the things that she didn't have. And so my mother raised me with this sense of, you can do anything that you want to do. And what I've learned from her is that, and this is part of what I want to share with you this evening, is that there are some fundamental things. If I look back at the 15 years of Ewomen Network, I started it 15 years ago. I turned 40, right? So I'm 55, and my children were very small. I'll be married 38 years this October, right? You don't have to applaud. Hadn't been that good. And I mean, you can't be with the same man for 38 years, right? And not go through a lot of transition and transformation. And I always tell my husband, I said, here's the good news, honey. I'm actually okay if you go around telling everybody that you've been married like 7 times, because I know that I'm at least 7 different women than I was when I met him as a senior in high school, 17 years old, right? He was 5 years older than me, a drummer, right? Right, on Capitol Records, touring with how many of you remember the OJs? Okay, it used to be my girl, right? Touring with the OJs, and you all know the Commodores, right? And touring with the Commodores and Lear jetting it around the world. And my mother was like, what is a guy 5 years older than you on Capitol Records doing with a girl in high school? This man is up to no good. And she was right. And that was the attraction for this Catholic girl. Okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm going to have him in jail. And she hired a private investigator. She scraped the money. And my mother was just like, this guy, this is not going to happen. And of course, she told me I wasn't going to marry him. So what did I do? I married him. And here I am 38 years later, right? And I just want to say that the biggest, probably my greatest success is navigating the transition of marrying a man whose life was on the stage, right? And I was the behind-the-scenes girl to the transition that we've gone through where now I live on a stage, right? And he's now the wind beneath my wings. And it hasn't been easy. It's been a tremendous amount of work. I learned from my marriage, and I'm going to share this with you. I remember about 3 years into the marriage, I called my mother and I said, I've got to divorce this man. I'm done. And she says, what's wrong? And of course I, spewed off a litany of things. And she said, Sandra, she said, you need to know something. She said, love is easy when love is easy. The real test of love is when you can love when it's not easy. And let me just tell you something. Being a business owner is easy when it's easy. And the real test of being a business owner is when you hang in there when it's not easy. Right? I interviewed Mark Cuban, one of 1,544 billionaires on the planet. Right? A little over 400 of them live in the United States. And when I found out that, I started watching, how many of you watch Shark Tank? Okay. And I started tracking this. I was like, okay, he's in Dallas. And I started tracking how many women's businesses he was investing in. And I called him and I was like, you need to know me. How's that for an attitude, right? You need to know me. And I would love to have the opportunity to just chat with you a little bit about what you've learned about investing in women-owned businesses. And he ended up coming to my office, which increased his time another couple hours almost, because his office was about 40 minutes away from mine, right? And he said, no, I'll come to your office. And I said, well, would you mind, could I convert my conference room and put up cameras and record? He's like, absolutely. One of the most generous men on the planet. Walks into my office, and I was so stunned because he actually didn't wait for me to go to the reception area to get him. He just followed the woman that came to my office. And so there I am, getting all ready, and I look up, and there he is standing at the door of my office. And the thing that all the best laid plans, right? And I look at him and I said, oh my gosh, you're so tall. That's what I said to him. That was the first words out of my mouth, right? Because when I see him on the floor of the NBA with all of these basketball stars, he looks really short, right? He's like 6'4". He's a really tall guy, And but you know what I've learned? It's really about just rolling with the punches. And so what I want to share with you today is really being successful is, it's hard. And so is being broke. So I think sometimes we just have to pick which hard we want. Okay, so I want to share with you 5 things today. In December, when I was writing what was my core message on my tour this year, I was thinking about, how can I just, if I could do it all over again. If I could do it all over again. I actually Facebooked about this a week or so ago, and I said, if I could do it all over again, the main thing that I would do is stop the suffering, right? There was so much suffering in the beginning because I was so alone. And I had created a lot of self-imposed isolation because I was ashamed and I was embarrassed about how hard it was for me. And what I realized is I read some book or somebody told me some comment about, have you ever heard it, fake it till you make it? That's a bunch of crap. I mean, I just really want you to think about it. If you're faking it, you're acting like somebody you're not. And do you want to do business with an imposter? Right? And so coming from a place of inauthenticity only worsened my situation in the spirit of trying to help myself. What I'm not saying is that you have to pour your heart out to everybody that you see. That's what I'm not saying. But what I also realize is that networking is not all about the customer acquisition process. It's part of it. You will always see Oprah wanting more viewers on her network. You will always see Sarah Blakely always wanting new customers to buy her Spanx product. You will always see Apple looking to sell more product, right? They're always searching for more customers. But what I can tell you is that we have these name tags, and our name tags are a point of differentiation, not just our names, but our business names. And what I think is absolutely essential, took me a while to figure this out, and that is the truth is we're all in the same line of business. Every single one of us in this room are in the exact same line of business. And that is that we're in the relationship business. Your relationships in business are an indicator of your success. You will grow in relationship to the relationships that you grow. Let me say that again. You will grow in relationships to the relationships that you grow. It is, as Vince Lombardi said, and I'm not a good sports person, I think he said something like, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Relationships aren't everything, they're the only thing. Everything that we do is in and through relationships. And I've not been smart enough on my own to figure out how to run a multi-million-dollar global business in 6 countries. I promise you, I'm not that smart. What I am smart enough to know is that through great relationships, I can figure it out. So I want to share with you 5 things. Are you ready? 5 lessons that I've learned. Lessons that I've learned, some of them more recent, lessons that I've learned the hard way over the last 15 years. Okay? The first one that I want to talk about is lead. Lead for me is not a position. It's an action. And as small business owners, what I believe, as I look at my coaching clients, my students, one of the biggest mistakes that we as women, and I do believe this is a women's issue, not that there aren't men that don't also struggle with this, but clearly this is a women's issue, and that we're waiting for everything to be perfect. Perfection is a phantom word. It doesn't exist. And it's not about perfection. It's also not about things being good and good enough, right? You cannot sustain success over good enough. The competition is way too fierce for good enough. The target that we should strive for is excellence, right? Excellence is what sustains you over time. I'm less interested in working with people on how to get to the 6-figure mark or the 7-figure mark than I am about helping them build the systems, the processes, and the infrastructure to sustain it over time. Because as hard as it may seem to get to that ultimate goal, it's so much harder to stay there. Does that make sense? Are you tracking with me? So leading is about understanding what is it that I want to do for my customer? What is her or his pain point? Or how will I make their life better? And it's not based on better, cheaper, faster. Okay? As the pyramid narrows, everybody's doing better, cheaper, faster. Right? It's really, to me, about understanding what is the transformation. As a result of doing business with you, how will their life be transformed? And that's what people are buying today, right? Not just better, cheaper, faster. So looking beyond the obvious is absolutely essential. I would suggest to you that I believe that real leadership is not about having the answers. That's the one thing I wish I would have done differently earlier. I see now my traction. I see how much faster I'm moving. And it's because what I've learned is your job as an entrepreneur is to have a vision, right? And then to be able to surround yourself with really great people to say, okay, how do we get there? So leadership is less about having the questions, less about having the answers, and more about having the questions. Really good questions. Because the truth of the matter is, we get really caught up in this whole notion of, if you want it done right, do it yourself. I mean, that's crap. I promise you. You want it done right, find somebody that's really great at doing it. Right? Now, it begs the question, when you're struggling and money is tight, how do you do that? And I would suggest to you that don't swallow that medicine. Because the truth of the matter is, when you focus on the important things, your job as a CEO is to focus on the important things. Important to me is defined as those things that make the cash register ring. There's nothing more important in your business as an entrepreneur than to make the cash register ring. That's what's important. Everything else is a distraction. What I'm not saying is that distractions don't need to get done. They do need to get done. You don't have to be the one to do it. And that's where we got to get creative. And I say to women all the time when they say to me, oh, that's really easy for you to say, Sandra, but I'm broke. Look, everybody's been broke. Get in line. I mean, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You got to make some choices about, as the woman stands with me with her, whatever that drink, I don't even know what they call those big drinks. They're tall drinks, but isn't the tall the small? Isn't that, or something? I don't even buy those drinks. Let me just tell you. I mean, you got to understand, Starbucks came out when I was robbing Peter to mug Paul. I mean, to pay $6 for a cup of coffee, I can't do it to this day. I can't. I mean, it's just like, and I see people that say this is their fix and they're going to go through, they go through the drive-through and they get one of this as their treat to them. And I'm thinking $6 times 7 is $42 a week. Right? And they're not investing in the things that make their business runs. Here's what I can tell you about women. When we see a value for something, we figure out how to pay for it. And if you don't believe me, look in your closet. Right? Most of us have several pairs of black shoes. How many women in this room have at least 3 pairs of black shoes? Raise your hand. Right? How many of you have at least 3 pairs of black pants? Raise your hand. All right? Need I say more? I mean, we will justify buying something when we already have it, if we perceive value. Now, if you're really broke right now and you're saying, I can't afford to have somebody, hire somebody to do some of the things, then allow somebody to be the great girlfriend to you that you've been to some of your girlfriends. Sometimes the greatest gift in the world is allowing yourself to receive. Right? And we don't do that. We show up for everybody else. Okay? You got it? Leading. Number 2, I would say to you, is learning. Learning is all about your A teams. I teach that there are 2 core A teams. My coaching students have to, in their second month of a program, identify their 2 A teams. Because everything is about people. And you have to do people math. You have to look at the people that you're hanging out with. I mean, begin to take notes and start noticing, who am I hanging out with in my business? Who are my favorite 6 people? My favorite 5 or 6 people? And then do the people math. Are they really adding and multiplying? Or are they subtracting and dividing? Right? I mean, are they really moving you forward, or are they the Debbie Downers and the energy vampires just sucking the life right out of you? You know what I'm saying? We spend so much time trying to drag those people along. And as we're dragging them along, the universe knows your hands aren't available to catch your next blessing. Right? Sometimes we just need to hug them, bless them, release them, and let them go. Because I'm going to tell you something. There are going to be some people in your life that aren't going to be comfortable with the woman you know you must become. Some people come in your life for seasons and reasons, not everybody will be there forever. So quit setting yourself up for disappointment. Look at your girlfriend list. Are they the same 6 that you're hanging out with in your business? Because if they are, you need a new list. You need a new list. Ewomen Network is not a girlfriend network. You become girlfriends as a consequence of hanging around other really great, like-minded women, right? But you must remember that as you acquire these great girlfriends, you also must then backfill. Because when we fall in love with each other as girlfriends, by definition, we're no longer that total, unbiased third party. I think of my best friend. How many of you know Lisa Nichols? Lisa Nichols and I are, once a quarter, a minimum of 3 times a year, even if it's for 11 hours, we'll fly someplace just to be together. And I love her because she's my BFF. But because of that, when I know there's things she needs to hear, I start thinking, what's the best way to tell her? Is this the right time? I know she's going through and got this other problem. All from the intention of love. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? So you've gotta be backfilling. To me, they are 2 very separate lists. Every now and then you might have someone that can be on both. Your personal and your professional. But let me just tell you, it's rare. Your other, so that's your always team. Your other A team is your access team. These are the people that are 50,000 feet above you. These are the people that are way more successful than you, right? And people ask me, Sandra, how did you get Mark Cuban to come to your office, right? How did you connect with Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's dad, and have him come to your conference? How did you connect with, become mentored by, and actually even do mastermind groups with Ken Cragen, who is a Hollywood legend, orchestrated the We Are the World campaign with Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones, led the largest humanitarian effort in the history of the United States, Hands Across America? How on earth did you get to know Hiram Smith? Ran a $1 billion company, started his business in his garage. Many of you may know it from the 80s, Franklin Planners. How many of you know Franklin Planners? His best friend was Stephen Covey, who had the best-selling book, 7 Habits. A lot of people think they merged. Not true. Hiram bought Stephen's company, was smart enough to leave his ego aside to say, that's the guy that's got the name. I'll rename my business Franklin Covey. Took the business public, almost hit $1 billion, hated the public experience, and said, forget this, converted it back out, and still raised it to almost $1 billion. Flies to my office on his own nickel. Trains my own little corporate staff. How'd you do that? I did that by being other-focused, by recognizing I've learned that no matter where I am in life, if I just listen to people, right, and really listen to them and play back what it is that they're saying and offer to support them and help them in some way. And maybe at that moment, I don't remember. I don't know exactly how. Remember what it is that I have that I can help them. But I think about it. And then I come back to my office and I go, you know what? So-and-so is having this problem. Let me do a Google search. Find an article, print it, mail it. Not email it. You want to stand out today? Don't email. Right? I mean, I've been talking to Matthew off and on today because we're working on a couple of other things. And since I've been here, he's actually literally texted. I actually just got, honest to God, I swear to God, it's like, these are God winks, right? You know, when things happen, I have a text right here from Ken Cragen. It's like unbelievable. Like Matthew. So you want me to call him?
Yeah. Speakerphone.
Yeah.
You want me to call? Okay, so now here's the deal. I have to tell him when I put him on speakerphone. Okay, so I need to do that. Let me call Matthew because he's wanting. Matthew Knowles is Beyonce's dad. Let me tell you about this guy. Okay, let me tell you about this guy. Okay, this is what you need to know about him. He was the number 3 guy in all of Xerox selling medical equipment in the world. Do you know how rare it is to be an African-American male in a major corporation like Xerox and be number 3 in the world? He saw his daughter and his daughter's girlfriends had some talent. And they submitted them for Star Search. How many of you remember Ed McMahon and Star Search? Remember? Okay, so they made it to the finals. Okay, and so they had all of their clothes for a week because they just knew they were going to win. And the first night of the finals, they got eliminated. And these little girls, if you've ever seen Matthew, he's like 6'5". He's a ginormous man. And he's got these little teeny tiny girls, right? They're little. And they're in puddles on the floor. Just brokenhearted and crushed. He was scared. He didn't even go over there. He didn't know what to say to them. What do I say to these girls? They're sobbing, right? Crushed on the floor, Beyonce. And so he saw Ed McMahon standing over to the side. And so he went over to Ed McMahon and he said, what do I say to my daughter and her friends? What would you recommend? I don't even know. I'm just kind of scared to even go over there. I don't even know what to say to him. And Ed McMahon said to him, tell them that history shows that it's never the winner that goes big. And so he went over and told Beyonce and the girls that subsequently became Destiny's Child. He quit his job, number 3 in the country, and managed those girls until 2012. So Beyonce, long a superstar, right? Do you think he knows a few things about what it takes, the growing pains, right, and building a business and a brand? Let me call him. I'm going to call him. I'm calm. Will you play with me? Is that okay? I want you to see how this works. Okay. It might go into voicemail, but we'll try. I'll call Ken. I want you to see how this relationships. Matthew. Hi. So listen, I want to share something with you up front. Okay, I'm in Connecticut, and I'm actually in front of about 150 people right now, and okay. I'm gonna. Can I? May I put you on? May I put you on the spot and put you on speakerphone for a minute? Okay. Hold on. Okay, you're on speakerphone. Can you say hi?
Hi, ladies.
Right. Okay, so I was talking about the power of amazing relationships, right? And I know that you and I have to finish talking about, you've got a book, okay, so let me just tell you what I'm talking to Matthew about. You've got a book coming, he's got a book that he's been working on, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, why don't you tell everybody?
It's coming out in June. It talks about the 10 traits of successful people. And what it means is, and it all starts, Sandra, with a passion. Be passionate about what we do.
Right, passion, exactly. So, and Matthew, I've been learning from Matthew. He's been, as I'm around him, I hear something new every single time. And so we've been talking about, I wanted to ask him if he would consider coming back to the conference this August. And before you answer...
It's a chord, Sandra, it's a chord. I have to hear the applause. You have to hear the
Oh my God! Would that be enough?
That would be a yes.
That would be a yes. Okay. Okay. So So here's what will happen. I'm obviously, I know I have to follow up with you. We'll talk about all of the details, and you know the conference is August 6th through the 9th. I don't even know what day. I can't even commit to that right now. But you and I will talk before the end of the weekend, and we'll nail the date for you.
Okay.
Okay. And so I just wanted you to hear, right? And then I wanted the ladies to see the power of really great relationships. And one of the things that I love about you and your wife, Gina, is that you really, with all of the access and all of the success that you have, that you are really reaching to people like me to share with me your wisdom and your knowledge in order that I can pass it on to them. And that's truly not only giving first and sharing, but it really is lifting as you climb. And I just love and appreciate you, Matthew. Thank you.
The dinner that we had, how everybody was touched by that, but also just what you do and what Ewomen Network is all about. Ladies, Sandra didn't tell you, but if any of you were there last year, so me and, what's my friend's name, Sandra, that was on the panel with me?
Ken Cragen.
Ken. So, ladies, Sandra had Ken and I, the only men in the room, crying like babies. I said, why are we crying?
Right. Yeah.
Sandra, you got us really vulnerable, and that's what it's all about. Is in our vulnerability lies our faith.
Oh.
In our probability.
Go ahead, repeat that again. In our vulnerability
Lies our faith.
Lies our faith.
lies our faith.
Lies our safety.
Safety. Yes. Yes. Oh. Ooh. That's a tweetable.
In our
Yeah.
vulnerability lies our safety.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Matthew. Okay, I'm not going to keep you. I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to see if I could
All right.
introduce you. Thank you. All right?
Thank you.
Okay. I love you to pieces. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll be in touch. Bye-bye.
That was cool.
Right? Okay. Right. Little nugget, right? Like great wisdom. How about that? You thought you got me and you got Beyonce's dad. Should I call Ken? You want to hear him? Let me just tell you, Ken is a guy, he's actually taken me under his wing. I am standing before you today. In many ways, a lot of the massive success that I've achieved in the last about 5 years has been as a result of Ken Cragen. Imagine he at one point managed, just to put it in perspective, how many of you remember Kenny Rogers when he was doing the Gambler movies? Lionel Richie when he left the Commodores? The Bee Gees, do you remember the Bee Gees in the 70s in their heyday? Right, at one particular time, Ken Cragen managed 8 of the top 10 Billboard artists, right? I mean, he's like a Hollywood legend. He teaches at UCLA, picks up the phone and calls Quincy Jones, and Quincy Jones shows up at his class. I mean, he's like one of the most amazing people, and he has taught me a lot about exactly what I'm talking to you about. Sandra, don't focus on the answers. You're slowing yourself down. Focus on the dreams and go and ask the questions. Surround yourself with people like me, like the other people, everyday people. You're always team, right? And let them give you the answers, which are going to be so much bigger than yourself. Learn. Always be open to learning new information. Always be open to innovating. He'll talk about the rule of threes. If he answers, I'm just going to see if he answers. I'm going to ask him to share with you. This is a model that I've applied in every element of my business, this whole notion of the rule of threes. And let's see here, Ken. This is his.
Isn't this cool?
I mean, because it's really demonstrating. You know, there's a lot of people that can stand up and lecture at you and tell you things, and there's other people that can, I think, sometimes say, all right, let me introduce you, because none of us ever make anything up on our own, right? We're always R&D, rob and duplicate. Everything you hear me say, if it applies to you, it's all about R&D. Just steal it and go, Ken, hey, Hi. So let me just tell you what's happening. I'm in Connecticut, and I'm speaking to about 150 women. And I was just talking about you and what you have taught me in terms of your rule of threes. Can I put you on speakerphone? Would you be willing to share live? Do you have a minute? What'd you say? What'd you say? Repeat. Well, first of all, let everybody here in Connecticut say hi to Ken Cragen. There's enough energy in this room for 2,000. I think it's like almost 150 people. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always told you that I think that the Ewomen Network women are the best audience ever.
Yeah. So I was giving everybody a little bit of your background. I know you're really humble, but I was telling them that you're the Hollywood legend that at one point helped to manage, Lionel Richie and Kenny Rogers in his heyday, and Trisha Yearwood, and all the amazing Kenny Rogers when he was doing his Gambler movies, etc. Right? And
a week from now, I've got get together with Pharrell Williams and his whole family and his kid named Rocket and Bono and his sons and Herbie Hancock for a project I'm working on right now. So I'm still doing it. I'm still having fun. I don't manage those folks, but they're involved in a huge project I'm doing for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in NASA. So it's still a lot of fun to work with celebrities, the ones particularly that are good people.
Right. So talk about the rules of three. It's been very powerful for me, and I'd love for you to pass on.
The fun thing that I can tell you is this. You told them a little bit about the idea that you can't get anybody's attention unless you do three things in a very concentrated period of time. Just 1 second.
Obviously.
I had to tell my wife that I'm on with you. And Kathy says hello.
Tell Kathy I send my love.
Yeah. Anyway, I have to tell you this story because it involves Kathy, actually. I used to, the whole idea basically was that you need at least three things in a concentrated period of time, certainly in today's, market, to get anybody's attention. And so I had this guy working for me. In those days, you didn't have a clicker where you could click. I had to have him, every time I wanted to advance a slide, he'd be sitting out there doing the sound and the video and everything. So after he'd been working with me for a year or two, he went home one day and he got up in the morning and he went down and he cleaned up the kitchen and then he cleaned out the garage and then he made the bed. And after the third thing, his wife came running up to him and she hugged him and she said, Steve was his name, Steve Oliver. She said, Steve, it's just so wonderful what you do. And she hugged him and everything. So he comes back to me the next time we're out on the road. He says, Ken, I just proved the magic of threes works just terrifically. I did these things and my wife was so appreciative, and everything. I go home, I tell my wife, she says, Ken, 4 works just as good as
Exactly.
And the funny part of that is, and this is an important part of the magic of threes, remember that the recipient has to get three things in a concentrated period of time. So Sandra, if I'm targeting you or one of those lovely ladies that's there now, I can point three things to you. And I'm talking in a very concentrated period of time. A few hours, a day, a week at most. Things have to hit, and they have to come from different directions. However, if I'm reaching out to a larger audience, if I'm trying to get people to, look to buy my record or to turn on the television or to come to an event that I'm doing or whatever it is, you need to put far more than 3 out because the recipient has to get 3. So if you're trying to reach out to a mass audience where you don't have absolute direct access, then you need to be like Disney films or where, a movie comes out and all of a sudden you're seeing it from every different direction. And each of those directions is different. It's billboards, it's, radio, it's television, it's art, actors in the movie being on interview shows. It's stuff you get in the mail. It's ads in the newspaper. It's coming at you from 10, 15 different directions. But the idea is they want to hit you with at least 3 things in a concentrated period of time, because it's going to take that many in today's sea of noise that we deal with to get you to take any action.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ken.
Michelle, I don't know if you have time, but I can explain to them. Probably the best example that I've had of this is when it didn't work. Do you want me to tell them a little bit about that?
Well, you know what? I'm going to actually have you save that for the conference. How about that?
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
We'll do it at the conference.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fun to be able to talk to you guys. Even I'd much rather be able to see you all, but you know how much I love you, Sandra.
I do.
Anything you do is something I want to be part of.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Ken. Oh, my God. Thank you so much, my friend. Okay. Give Kathy my love. We'll be in touch. Okay. I'll follow up with you. Thanks. Bye. All right. How about that for a nugget for today, right? I mean, honestly, and so what I would say to you, if you're breaking it down as an entrepreneur, what I've learned is that how many of you have a product or a teleseminar or a webinar that you do? Put your hands up if you do. I mean, it's really about understanding how you go out in clusters of 3. You really hit the concentration. It's about, drilling really deep, right, and getting into the concentrate so you're really hitting oil, striking oil. So you want to have your social media out. You want to have your Facebook, I always say. In fact, I was talking to Amy. Where's Amy, who picked me up at the hotel, right? We were talking about you're a chiropractor, some of the new things that you were doing. And what I want you to hear is, and this is the big message that I want to share with you, and because we have got to stop developing so much content. I mean, how many of you are spending, eons of time on social media or developing, trying to get your blog up or sending articles out or whatever the case may be when you've got it all? And what I think is really essential for you to do, how many of you have like a signature message that you can deliver? Okay, so here's the thing, and some of you may do it right now in a blog. Some of you may be doing it on Facebook. Some of you may be doing articles, or some of you even have a book. How many authors do we have in the room? Okay, so here's the thing, and how many of you that are authors have had your book out for over a year? Okay, your book becomes new again with a new audience. You've got to get your book, and you've got to open up your book, and you've got to go and just highlight it with yellow, for about 110 characters, so that you're leaving enough space in those final 30 ones to do some really good hashtags. You don't know what I'm talking about? So what? You don't need to be proficient in it. Hire somebody to do that for you that knows what they're doing. Who in this room does social media? Okay. Then you take that yellow and now you expand it, with your pink, highlighter to, about 160 characters, and that becomes your Facebook post, right? And then what you do is you then block out and you go for another 850 characters max, and that becomes your blog, right? You submit it to the business journal so that it gets posted in the business journal, and you just repurpose content over and over and over again, a minimum of 3 ways. This isn't about having to do more stuff. Right? We got to take what we have and use it in a much more intelligent, impactful way. Make sense? Okay, I want to talk about losing real quick. The first thing we talked about was lead. The second one was about learn. The third one is about lose. This is something, as women, we're very gracious winners. Someone compliments us about something and we say, oh, I've had this, thank you, or I got it in the most amazing sale. We discount so much of the compliments that we receive instead of just saying thank you. We're very gracious at winning, so to speak. What we're not so gracious at, in my opinion, is losing. And as women, we've got to learn to create balance here. We have to learn to lose graciously. Right? In my opinion, that an email is not your journal, and we ought to be thinking about what we fire off in writing. And maybe what we do, if an email is just a way for you to vent, you send it to yourself first and sleep on it. And then come back the next day and see if you really want that to get out there. Because what you put in writing lasts in this day and age forever. And it's like amazing to me what people are finding out. You know, I mean, I do a search on everybody before I hire them in my corporate staff. We do a search on all social media for all of our managing directors. I want to see what's out there. I frankly am not interested in hanging around anybody that wants to spew negativity on social media. It's just not a fit. I'm not saying it's wrong, so hear me out. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's not a fit for me, right? There's too much to be grateful for. There's too much that needs our positive attention to be caught up in negativity. Negativity, in my opinion, is as toxic as positivity. And I've just decided that I'm really clear which one I want to be contagious by, right? So it's just a preference for me. And so knowing, you know, that not everything you lose is a loss. Not everything you lose is a loss. And when you lose something, don't lose the lesson. Right? There's always a lesson in our experiences. Right? And if we look at it that way and quit trying to make everybody else at fault, what I've learned is all of my problems at some point are a result of something that I didn't say clearly, that I wish I didn't say. You know, it's all related to that. And when I take full responsibility for me, I learn the lesson and I get better the next time. We've got to learn to lose with grace. I would say to you, number 4 then for me is all about listen. And Cav, is that how she pronounced her name? The member spotlight? Was it K? I thought it was C-A-V. Is it K? It was a typo. So I did read it correctly. Okay. All right. Well, how ironic. There's no coincidences that this gave us the opportunity to correct that. How ironic that before the evening was over, we had the opportunity for you to correct your name. So you would stand up and you would introduce yourself and you would say, "Hi, everyone, my name is..."
Hi, everyone. My name is Kay Wilson.
Yeah.
There we go. Right? And Kay was talking about feelings. Did I get that right? Paying attention to your feelings. And in my opinion, you can only pay attention to your feelings when you get quiet and listen to what's going on with you. You know, listen is a word, rearranged spells silent. Did you know that? Listen, every letter in listen, rearranged spells silent. I think it's essential for us in the busyness of life to find our times to get silent. Because we so rely, let me speak for myself, I have so relied on my brain and getting smart to run my business. The problem is that when you rely solely on your brain, you don't really run your business. You will find that one day you will wake up and your business will be running you. Because your mind and your brain is taking in so much information, right? We read, we look, we see, and we want to make all this stuff out here happening. But you as a small business owner, what will drive you and hold you through the toughest of times is not your brain, it is your heart. And your heart has a language your brain does not understand. Until you are quiet. Opportunity knocks sometimes very softly. And you must be quiet to make sure that you are listening. Because I didn't do that for a while. And I stand before you having lost my way. Running a multi-million-dollar business and finding myself not happy. And what I was doing was everybody was telling me what to do, and I was like a little robot, implementing all of these things that were all working, except that I wasn't in joy anymore. And it showed up for me. You know how it showed up? It showed up in 5 pounds. 5 pounds, which in a year isn't so bad until it goes on for 5. And then you realize one day, and all of a sudden I was like finding myself in a crisis. My mother fell in my house. We thought she had a bum foot. She ended up having a heart attack, getting her foot x-rayed. She ended up going into massive renal failure, which is something she'd never told me, right? And she would visiting me for 10 days, and she would never go home again. And I would inherit not only taking care of her, but taking care of all of her affairs, which were not in order. while also running this business, while also planning my daughter's wedding, which was on one hand a very happy time. I was like, what's going on with me? I'm really happy for my daughter, Brianna, and I'm also really sad for me. If you've ever married a daughter, there's this little bit of closing, this stage of being a mother was coming to an end. It was an end. It was a transition and a transformation. The same time, my son's getting ready to graduate from high school and move and go away and go to college. And then the family dog up and dies. I'm not kidding you, in 10 days. The dog goes into renal failure. I thought he just needed old man pills. You know, I took him in for vitamins. They did a test. They told me, oh no, he's a sick pup. This dog, and he was gone. Cinco was gone. In 10 days, we called him Cinco, number 5. He was the 5th member of our family. And I couldn't make heads or tails of anything. I was tired. I would brag about the fact that I could take a 10-minute power nap at 3 o'clock. It's amazing. Be careful of the stories that we tell. We're masterful storytellers, right? But those stories sometimes do not serve us well. You know, I'd have my, 3 o'clock in the afternoon soda. I'd want to take my nap. I was like, I just can't even think. I'm so lethargic. Your body's designed to get you through the day. If it's not getting you through the day, something's going on. You need to look at that. I mean, this is a container. This is a container. And we got to stop treating it like a trash can. Right? And what I realized was that I was hungry. It wasn't for food. I was using food. I was hungry for what drove me to start this business. This is to be with you. I swear to you, I could be a lot of places tonight. Just like you, there is no place. I am crystal clear. I said this in the mirror as I was getting ready coming here tonight. There is no place on the planet that I want to be tonight than right here with you. I'm so clear about that. Right? Because I am in alignment with what makes me tick, and it ain't the corporate office. Right? That's a necessity to be with you. Let me close by saying this. We must lead. We must learn. We must listen. We will lose. And all of that we can never forget about love. Self-love. We have to take care of us. We have to make time for us. And I got caught up in this thing that there was no time for me. Between being a wife, being a daughter, being a mother, being a business owner, there was really no time for me. And it was a humbling experience. You'll get your feelings hurt, just like me, when you realize that if you take 45 minutes for yourself, the world will function just fine without you. Right? I mean, honestly, right? I think it's important to know what it means to love yourself, to care enough for you. 3 years ago, I couldn't run down my block. Last year, I completed my first triathlon, right? I will do it again that you could have never have told me. I would have said, you're absolutely crazy. And I didn't do it overnight. It's like people that work out and do 20 sit-ups and stand up and say, do I have abs yet? I mean, really? Right? You got to work it. And you know what? You working your body will teach you how to work your business, because it is a matter of being consistent and taking small steps every day. It's about the consistency. It's not about the stops and starts. I will tell you that you don't have to find the time. You just have to commit making the time. And when you really do give up your excuses, you will find your results. Because if you take a shower every day, you can get 50 squats in. If you brush your teeth, you can get 25 squats in. If you make a pot of coffee or have a cup of tea, you can get another 25 squats in. There ain't a woman in this room that can't do 100 squats a day if she decides. If she decides that she's worth it and that she wants to do it. But you need these legs, ladies. We need our legs. We need our legs to carry us where we're going. You need these legs to climb you to where you want to go. to be able to stand up and to stand proud in what you are accomplishing, what your dream is. We need our bodies to get us there to the best that we can. Some aren't so privileged, and yet they do. You look at what this woman did to fight her cancer. Would you stand up again? Right? Came in September, fighting her cancer, fighting for her life. Where's the woman with the breast cancer book? Where is she? Eileen, stand up. Do you see what I'm saying? We have these women to look to. I look at these two phenomenal women and I said, man, if they can go through what they've gone through, right? And fight for their life and fight for their conviction and fight for their dream and fight for their time, I can give my body a little bit of attention to and treat it a little bit better. We got to do this, ladies. This is not about looking good, in the mirror. This is not about the number of a scale. This is about your critical contribution to the planet, your passion, what you say you want to do, and making sure you get there. That's all this is about. In the process, you'll look better, right? This is not about dieting, the first letter of diet, right? Right? Okay, it's why they don't work, in my opinion. Right? Dieting makes you look good in clothes. Getting fit helps you look good out of them. Right? I don't have I'm 55 years old. I've had 2 kids. I don't have the most amazing body on the planet. But my daughter will say to me, my 24-year-old daughter will say to me, give me just a little compliment that says to me, you know what? It's not that bad. It's worth it. We do these things, do them well. We will have the makings of sustaining a 6-figure, 7-figure business. And if you're looking at me and you're saying, well, Sandra, great. That sounds really good. Good for you. You don't understand. My life's a soap opera. Right? And I would say to you, get in line again. Because we all have our story, every single one of us in this room. So let me end with this, speaking of soap operas. As the world turns, you are going to feel young and restless. But you must remain bold and beautiful. You know why? Because these are the days of our lives. And we only have all right? There we go, ladies. We got this. Thank you. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. I have a gift. These are mine. Okay, so you don't have to take one of these, okay? But I have my little 6 soaring strategies to success, so we'll pass them out if you want one. It's free for you. Okay? In the meantime, do I have a couple of minutes for questions?
A couple, maybe 2.
Maybe 2. Who wants to ask me something?
We still have, it's 8:30 already.
Okay, so 2 questions. Who wants to ask me something? Stand up. Give us your name and your business.
Erin Infantino, Simply Gorgeous by Erin.
Aaron, what's your last name again?
Infantino.
Infantino. Got it. Okay.
So the general...
Oh, great. There.
So the general question is, you said that you started your business when you were 40. Your children were young. Are you toddlers around?
My son was 4 years old. He's 19 today. And my daughter was in 2nd grade. She's 4.5 years older than Ryland. So 8,
When you start a business, what I've learned over the past 3-ish years is it's a whole lot of time. It's a whole other child. It's your baby.
Yep.
It's a whole lot of love, blood, sweat, and tears. How did you find a way to, or maybe you never experienced it, but I'm constantly struggling. How do I make sure that I have time for my daughter so she knows that she's loved?
Right.
And then, you're working 6-7 days a week.
Right.
And you're trying to implement that day.
Yeah.
This is a me day or a family day.
Yeah, the whole mommy guilt thing, right? Yes. So what I would tell you, here's what I've learned. Guilt is a self-imposed wound, and your future doesn't deserve the punishment. And I will tell you what I have learned. Today, my daughter is 24 years old. She's now in Mexico, in Tulum. She's a hair and makeup artist. She's doing this major shoot for a magazine, right? And what she said to me, somebody else asked me this question one time in writing on my Facebook page, and I sent it to Brianna. I said, how should I answer this from your perspective? And she said to me two things. She said, Mom, you need to know, you going after your dream gave me permission to really go after mine. See, our children watch us. We have a saying in our house that is, your actions speak so loud I can't hear a word you're saying. So if you're holding yourself back but telling your kids you want them to be happy and you want them to go after their dream, don't think they don't know. Number one. Number two, she said, you need to know, Mom, you need to know, you never missed anything that was important because you always asked us what was important to us. And I never even realized that I had done that. You know, nobody books my calendar but me. And I used to get all the school stuff and I'd sit them down and say, what's absolute? What do I have to be there? I found out what was important to them, not what I thought was important. Right? And I always made sure. My daughter was the captain of the color guard, so I was Friday nights, right? Dallas. I live in Dallas. Football, like there's three religions. You're Catholic, you're Protestant, you're football. You know, it's like, right? And then my son was a varsity football player. I mean, for 10 years, I moved hell and high water to make sure Friday night lights I was on those bleachers. But I missed a few things. I did, and I beat myself up way too long until I learned this is self-imposed. A self-imposed wound, and my future doesn't deserve the punishment. And that's how I did it. I found out what was important to them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Your name and your business?
Okay, my name is Princess Bola Delany and business is Royal Proclamations. Question is, was your vision for Ewomen Network always global from inception?
No. Great question. Thank you. No. I'm going to be real honest with you. And here's the thing you need to know. You need to be so focused on what you want that you're still open enough to capture transformational opportunities. So you have to hold on to your dream and lighten up a little bit because you will see that things will come your way. But I think what's important is you have to know what you stand for. That's why I started out. Everything I started out was on my 3 tenets, right? Give first, share always, lift as you climb. No one makes it alone. It takes teamwork to make the dream work. And so I get lots of proposals for lots of opportunities, lots of ways to invest in businesses. And I always ask myself these fundamental questions. If they aren't in alignment with those 3 tenets, then I just say, it's not never, it's just not now. And that's how you stay focused on the real things that matter.
Yeah, so at what point did it start multiplying? And did you have to ever pitch the vision to others to get chapters?
Oh my God, are you kidding? Absolutely. I felt like the first man that ever sold a fax machine. You know, like somebody had to sell a fax machine and say, hey, listen, if you buy this fax machine, you're going to change snail mail forever. You're going to be able to put your documents through this little piece of equipment and it's going to arrive at somebody else's office that has a fax machine. And somebody else had to say, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll buy it. And now who do I fax to? Right? For which that fax person had to say, I'm working on it, right? And that was me. I was like, I'm going to create this network of women across North America, you know, and somebody had to buy it for the very first time and then say, okay, so now who can I network with? And I was like, I'm working on it, right? And so, you know, you got to like keep at it, you know, keep at it. How many of you feel like when you get rejection, the phone just gets heavier and heavier and heavier, and before you know it, you're distracted? Here's your tip. Take a box of Q-tips. Does anybody not know what a box of Q-tips is? Take a box of Q-tips, 500 of them, they sell in the package. Buy an off-brand if you need to save some bucks. Go to the dollar store. Open that sucker, set it on your desk, and every morning get up and put piece of tape 10 of them around your monitor by your phone. Because Q-tip for me is how I built my business. Q-tip for me was an acronym for quit taking it personally, right? And I just said, I am not going to go to bed until all those Q-tips are gone. Now, what I'm not saying to you is this, very quickly, and then we got to move on. But I do want to be fully disclosing in this. What I'm not saying is, after you've made 4 phone calls and you've gotten 4 no's, you move to the 5th. After you've made 4 phone calls and you've made 4 no's, stop. Stop it, right? You don't be like the fly on the windowsill, knocking itself out, trying to get outside, hitting, you come back the next day, darn thing's on its back, completely dead. That's what we're doing to ourselves. If you got 4 no's, stop. You're doing something wrong, right? The good news is it's you. You're doing it wrong. That's the one thing you can fix. So get some help and try something different. Before you know it, you'll get yeses. And then your business will explode, because I remember starting to get so many yeses, it took forever for me to get through the 10 Q-tips because I wasn't getting no's anymore, right? And then it gets addictive because it's like, cha-ching. I mean, my favorite 4-letter word is love, right? By all means. In all situations, my favorite 4-letter word is love. My second favorite word is cash. There's no crown for noble poverty. Why are we playing so small, right? So, and if you put the words together, love, cash, that's pretty yummy, right? And you don't have to buy a new house, new car, even new pair of shoes. Make the money and give it away to your cause, to your injustice.
So what year was your first chapter? Did you open your first chapter?
2000. 2000. And I struggled and suffered for 3. And then I got help and things started to turn around. I didn't break $1 million till my 5th year. And I've never been under that since, in the toughest of economic times.
When did you break 6 figures?
The problem was I broke 6 figures by the 3rd year, but I spent more than 6 figures. Right? It's about being profitable, right? Yes.
Sandra.
Yes. I know, I love you. Yes.
I have the awesome privilege of attending conference last August. So I'm wondering if you can share any secrets,
Okay, so let me be now I've got Matthew and Ken coming. I can tell you that, right? Ken Rathbun, who is won the Iron Chef. Do you ever watch the Iron Chef show? Won the Iron Chef, and it has a couple of phenomenal restaurants. One happens to be in Dallas, and I know him because I had him cater my daughter's wedding, so I had a little bit in on that. And he is actually coming back to Italy, from Italy early, celebrating 3 weeks with his wife, her 50th birthday, in order to come back to the conference. I would say to you that here's what I'm doing. Bottom line is, I want to introduce you to my network. I want to introduce you to my access team, my A team up here. What I can tell you is, and people ask me, and so let me just be real transparent here, and that is this, that, I put people on my main stage that I don't pay. I don't pay for their flights. I don't pay for their room. They're in a different place in their lives, a different season. A Matthew Knowles, a Ken Cragen, a Ken Rathburn, a Laura Herring, who runs a $50 million career firm in St. Louis. This is not about you finding people that are in your line of business. This is not about that. It's about learning the fundamentals of all business. They're universal. You will find that it's not about adopting everything that they say. It's about changing that O to an A to adapt and say, how can I apply that in my own business? I'm not in the Hollywood business. I learn from Ken every time I talk to him. I'm not in the music business. I learn from Matthew Knowles every time I talk to him. I'm not in the career placement business. And when Laura Herring says, hey, I want you to come to my house for Tahoe for 2 days, I rearrange the world unless I've got brain surgery or something's going on with my kids, right? I want to be there. I want to be there so that I can just learn. And the challenge of the questions, that's what this is about. I'm going to put some rock star, huge, multi-million-dollar to billionaires on the stage, but there's no star that's brighter than your own. There's no star that's brighter than your own. The opportunity for you is to come and say, okay, you're looking at your list. I need a new A team. I need a new Always team. I have great connections right here in Connecticut or Boston, wherever you're from. But what I know is that's not enough. and I deserve to have other relationships from other perspectives, so they can hold up the mirror and say, really? You're really saying that? Right? Because I'm telling you, Connecticut has very Connecticut ways of doing things. Am I right? And where are my Bostonians? My Bostonians, will you arms? Am I right? Or does Boston have very Boston ways of doing things? You have the ultimate way of doing things, right? Dallas has very Dallas ways of doing things, right? I mean, my God, just look at me, right? And I'm not even from Dallas, right? I mean, it's like it happens over time, right? You got to get out. I promise you, you have to get out and connect with other people because they will see things you can't see. It's right here. But because there's so many of you here, you all see the same things. Do you see? And being breakthrough, going from breakdown and break even to break out and break through to breaking records is all about getting out of the box. Does that make sense to you? So here's what I want to do. I'm going to ask you, right? And this is the one thing. Annie, it was very easy for me to come here because she's an absolute freaking rock star. Right? But the chapters lobby, 118 of them lobby for the 30 cities. I do something in the 30 cities that never is offered to any of the other chapters, right? Nor anyone else. Because you're here. Because I'm looking for a certain kind of an entrepreneur. A certain kind of woman who wants to come. We were talking about it at our table. Weren't we Joanne, right? Did I get it? Joe, you go by Joe, but Joanne with the fabulous raw vegan raw food over here. And we were talking a little bit over the side about you can hold in duality power and kindness, right? I mean, they can coexist. We can come from a place of abundance where there's enough for everyone. My 5 favorite words. How can I help you? And that's really the culture of of the conference. I have a video I would love to show you, just a 2-minute, just so that you understand the scale. While it's being queued up, let me just tell you, for this little small town girl, I bought an entire hotel in Dallas for 4 days. All of the meeting space, 280,000 square feet of meeting space, and all of the rooms for our conference, and we'll still be in overflow hotels. Right? To bring a certain kind of entrepreneur together. So, you got it? So I want to show you what it looks like so that you have a sense of it.
5, 4, 3, 2.
That's the hotel. Everybody at my conference gets on the stage at some point. Laser coaching.
Ewomen Network Conference now for 8 or 9 years. I've actually lost track because it's the best conference I ever go to and never miss it.
I've been to lots of conferences, but the genuine love that I feel here is really real. I have made more money, millions of dollars, I stand before you, by developing relationships.
Ken Cragen and Matthew Knowles. My best friend, Lisa Nichols.
Keep going.
Sekou Andrews. My husband.
We're going to teach you how to brand yourself.
My personal PR agent. $50 million business, Laura Herring.
And they get out of your way.
And I saw Beyonce perform. It was the first time I looked at it from the eyes of a father and not the eyes of a manager.
This is my first time at Ewomen Network Conference, and I'm absolutely loving it. You have connections, you have the power, you have the influence, and I'm meeting other like-minded individuals who really want to take their business to the next level.
That little girl,
my daughter,
danced to her own drum because she didn't know better. And at the end of that man's life, he started to realize that he was going to dance to his own drum because he knew better.
It's a group of people who make you feel good about wanting to have ambition, wanting to pursue it, and then helping you to give you the right now to do it.
The emerging leader for 2014 is Gabriel McCormick.
Emerging leader. leader program. We've made it to $1 million.
Over 45 signatures that have pledged over $25,000.
Dr. Fadman Sidi. Mashed potatoes and martini glasses. Dancing.
Do not leave here and come back next year marginally different. Come back here with a quantity. Come back here committed to your dream.
We have a pajama night. Annie. Okay, so that's gives you an essence of the conference. It's a high-end conference. I do an open bar for the whole thing. I do candles. I do flowers on every table. I serve you champagne lunches. I do an afterglow every evening. I create an environment of beauty, and I do create an environment of opulence. My rigging starts on Monday. The conference doesn't start until Thursday. I rent the entire ballroom of this hotel starting on Monday night for the stage, for you to be able to make sure that you see that you're up close and personal. What I'm going to do tonight, and only tonight, is I want to give you an opportunity to come and play with me and get really serious about business in a loving, supportive environment. What I don't do is put forms in everybody's hands. I just don't subscribe to that practice. And so what I do know, though, is for you to make an informed decision, you have to have the facts. And I want to give you a very yummy opportunity to join me that I only do in my 30 cities. So if you think that you might remotely consider coming to the conference, I need you to raise your hand. It's in August. It's 6th through the 9th. And Annie, if your team could move really super fast, okay? It starts on a Thursday, the 6th, and at 3:30 in the afternoon, so you can actually fly in day of. I just need you to know that we go till 10 o'clock. I mean, I will serve you buffet dinner, open bar, desserts, ice carvings, the whole bit on Thursday. Friday, while the forms are going out, we'll do coffee and tea service in the morning. You'll have a buffet lunch, and then we'll do our afterglow drinks and hors d'oeuvres. On Saturday, you'll have your coffee and tea service. You have a sit-down champagne lunch, and then we'll do our hors d'oeuvres and drinks. And then I'm looking for a women wine, winery, woman-owned winery, because I buy the liquor every year from women-owned wineries. And then on Saturday, your coffee and tea service. It's all included. It's all included, okay? We're done on Sunday at 1 o'clock. I will tell you there will be hundreds of people, probably 600-700 people, that won't even go home till Monday because of the power of what happens after the event. Does everybody have a form so that I can move on? Okay, we just need a couple more here. So if you look at the form very quickly, I'm going to guide you through this while dessert is coming out. So those of you that can't come or aren't interested, hang in there because dessert's coming, at least, right? Is that what that is? It looks like dessert. Do I have that right? Yeah, okay. So desserts are coming. All right, so here it is. So here are the facts for those of you that would love to come. As you can see, this is the one time and only time in Ewomen Network where members and non-members get the exact same price, okay? Because I'm only going to share one set of numbers with you. So whether you're a member or a non-member, you're going to get the offer that we have tonight. As you can see, it's $1,895. for the full conference. Would you just take your pen and just put a big X through the pricing? Because I'm going to give you an entirely different price. Yes? Put an X through the pricing. And then directly under that, do you see where it says I'm a first-timer or I'm returning? If you are a first-timer, would you please make sure that you check that box? About 5 weeks before the conference, I personally do a webinar with you every Wednesday, 5 weeks heading into the conference. There's a lot of stuff going on, tremendous amount of free stuff, and I will tell you exactly how to maximize your experience so that you don't show up and stand in line for your name badge while everybody else is signing up for the free power laser coaching sessions. Okay, and I don't want to do that now because you'll forget it by then. So about 5 weeks, every week I pick a subject and share it with you. Okay, and I record them. So that's the one time that if you can't make it, then you'll get the recording so that you have it. But I want you to be able to really feel good about showing up and knowing exactly where to go and what to do first. All right? So, and if you're a returning person, then I just need to know what year this is that you're coming back, because we track all of that.
All first year.
All first year.
Except for March.
Right. Except for Margie. Okay. And Nancy. She comes. Okay, right. All right, so now, do you see where it says the party underneath that? Everybody tracking? Just put a big X through the party, because I got something special for you too, thanks to my sponsors. All right? I pass on some of the things that I get from my sponsors to the people that show up to these events. All right, do you see the box where it says for office use only? For office use only, do you see that? I want you to write a couple of things down. Are you ready? Put a number 1. And right now, let's just talk about money. Let's just talk money for the first, right out of the chute here. Okay, instead of it being $1,895, because you are here this evening, I'm taking $1,000 off the top. Right? The entire conference for $895. Okay? So you can do a one payment of $895, or if some of you, it would serve you better to pace it over time, I'll even do a 3-payment plan. So you would either pick one payment of $895 or 3 payments. The first payment would be $385, and then in May, we would do $285, and then on August 1st, we would do another $285. Just make sure you don't feel misled. If you do the math on the 3 payment, you're paying a little bit more, because I got to pay bank fee and transaction fee and, merchant fees and all of that. But it's just a little bit more. I just don't want you to leave here and go, hey, it didn't add up, okay? So that you know that. All right, now, here's the next thing that I'm going to do. So imagine for a moment that you're going to the conference. Which one of those 2 would you pick? Circle it right now so that if you turn the form into me, you don't forget and we don't screw up your credit card. All right? Now, number 2, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down dance party, Saturday night dance party, free. Saturday night dance party, free. And all I ask is that when you see Estee Lauder at the conference, that you thank them, because they write me a check and underwrite the entire party. This is Jerry Jones's band that he uses when he has a lot of his parties. I mean, they are a horn section, they are a smoking band, right? And all the alcohol and all the drinks and all the food and all of that, and overtime for my union production crew to stay up until 1 in the morning playing music, doing the sounds and the lights. So all I ask is that you say thank you to Estee Lauder when you see them around, because I'm able to do this because of them. Now, what I want you to know is when you see that $895, you're actually going to see 2 charges. You're going to see $795, that's a business deduction on your taxes, and then you're going to see $100, and that's going to be for the Ewomen Network Foundation. Because what I'm going to do is take $100 of your $895 and donate it in your name to the Ewomen Network Foundation. Okay? But it will be your deduction. If you're doing the 3-payment plan, on the first payment, you'll see $285. That's your business deduction. $100 of it goes to the foundation. Are you tracking how that works? Okay. The third thing is that number 3, and that is we have a series of pre-bonuses or pre-conferences as bonuses. They are bonus events because we have so many people coming in from around the world, and they're there. So here's how it works. The Wednesday session will be from 9:30 to about 1. And then we'll have 2 Thursday sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, usually on social media, and the other one's on publishing, etc., repurposing your contact, all of that. So what I want you to know is those run between all 3 of them almost another $1,000. And because you're here, I'm giving you all pre-bonuses free. All right, so all the pre-bonuses. I do want you to understand that Wednesday, if you come in for the Wednesday session, the Wednesday pre-conference session, you need to know that you're probably going to be coming in a night early. Do you see? So you'll have another room night because it starts at 9:30. I don't think you can get from Connecticut to Dallas by 9:30 in the morning. Okay? Even a really early flight, and we're an hour earlier and all of that. But I don't think you can do that. Okay, you can't. So you must come the night before. The room nights at the hotel are $149. Why? Because I bought the whole hotel. Right? It's a 4-diamond hotel. It's beautiful. We're going to get all the names to Annie. If you want a roommate, then it's $75 for a roommate. It's $75 a night. Refrigerators in all the rooms, Whole Foods across the street, and we are on Restaurant Row with 100 restaurants right around us. It's a beautiful area of Dallas. Yes? You can do more than 2 in a room. You must give the name of the third party, and I think they charge you $20. So we ask you to do that on the honor system for the soaps and the towels and all of that kind of thing. Okay? But $75 a night in a 4-diamond hotel is pretty delicious. Makes sense? Okay? Any questions? So what you would do is you would turn those forms into me before I leave. You cannot fax them in. Okay, I've been through all of that. People leave here and then they tell 10 people that weren't here and photocopy those things and fax them in. I've been doing this so long, I can nail within about 25 to 50 exactly how many women will take advantage of this offer, right? And it was like, why am I running out? Because how I do this is through my own personal value, my own family value around tithing. I take a percentage of all my corporate sponsorship money and set it aside, and that offsets the people that show up at these events. Okay, so I can't do this for a whole bunch of people that aren't here. Makes sense? Not trying to be mean. Here's the final thing that I would like to say. I'm adoring Annie. I adored her the first time I met her when she came to high performance training. I thought she was smart. I thought she was compassionate. I thought she was really savvy. I liked her quick wit. And I thought, she's a real gem. And it's been an honor for me, actually, to get to know her in the course of the last 10 months. In some ways, I feel like I've known you for a really long time. Yeah. And I would say to you that because of you and because of your vision and because of all the extra things you do that no one in this room knows to continue to expand Ewomen Network, to create this community, I would like to say, for those of you that are guests, would you please stand? If you are a guest in the room, the only thing I want to ask you to notice are the people that are sitting. Because what is essential for you as a businesswoman is to say, okay, if I am invited, and this is an invitation-only community, if I am invited to become a part of this community, what am I getting myself into? And I'm really proud that there are 81 people in this room, women and men, who are already embedded in this community with our philosophy of giving first, sharing always, lifting as you climb, and it takes teamwork to make the dream work. That's what I want you to notice. Have a seat. Right. So I would say to you that we want to invite you to join. It's a one-time, lifetime, never pay it again, $357. And you are an international member. Change jobs, change locations, change professions, change spouses, whatever you change. Right? We have a woman here from Phoenix, several here from Boston. right? We got Shira. We've got New York, right? 2 from New York. So you can go to any chapter as a member and be recognized and honored and welcomed as a member at member prices anywhere in the world. So what I would like to do is, if you want to join, and I'm doing this as a gift. It's $357 one-time lifetime. It's then $19.95 a month. And that's your marketing budget. That's your business development budget. That's this community. You need a safe space to take off the mask, right? To be real about what's not working and what you need, not just customers, but what you need to grow your business. You need to talk to Annie. What I can tell you is, you tell her somebody you need, she'll find that person and make the introduction for you. You can't get that on your own for $19.97 a month. You couldn't get that on your own and hire somebody for $1,997. And you have that because of the economies of scales of our business model. If you want to join today, and I'm going to take like 10 of you max, then what I'm going to do is throw in a coaching session with me. Okay? Right? Right? Here's how, what's the, yeah, right, okay, so let me, I'm going to do something, actually, let me do something for the members. Here's an interesting, that was a very powerful thing that just happened. So let me put a lesson to that. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And she asked. And she echoed it. Do you see what's just happened here? So because of that, I'm going to do something. So here's what I first want to do. So here's, just so you know how it works, you can do this from home. You can have your hair up in a potato chip clip, fuzzy slippers, right? And sweats, I don't care. But we will organize. Annie will get the names. I'm going to ask you literally to write them down. Annie will get the names. She will get them to my assistant. My assistant, Leanne, will contact you and will orchestrate a time when we can all be there. All right? My assistant will get your website. I will know that in advance. I will study each and every one of your websites. I will know you. You can give her a specific charge. What I need Sandra to help me with is, and tell me what that is. And when we come together, you come empty, I'll come full, and I will just pour into you. The neat thing is, if I know, maybe it's something you're really excited about. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a problem, but you need to just know your next step. If I don't know, I think I've proven to you that I have some people that I can tap into and say, help me with this woman's issue or problem or idea, so that I am well prepared. I will do the homework and show up to serve you. Okay? I will record it so that you can have it to review afterwards. If something happens and you can't make it, I will still address your question or your challenge so that you have it. Does that make sense? So if you think that you would like to take advantage of this opportunity with me and become a member simultaneously, I would like for you to stand. Right? And here's what I'm going to do. Okay, so hold on just a second. So I'm going to do something. All right. So here's what I'm going to do, Annie. So I'm going to do my own memorization technique that I learned from Jim Quick. So because I will remember you. Like, you will not believe how I will remember you. And so here's what's going to happen. As I say their name, you write them down, okay? I want you to look at me, straighten my eyes. I want you to tell me your first and last name once, and then your business, okay? All right.
Karen Sands, The Ageless Way.
Karen Sands, The Ageless Way. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, got it.
Sasha Carr, Off to Dreamland.
Sasha Carr, Off to Dreamland. Sasha. Got it? Okay. Number 3. It's not Elena, it's Elena. I already know your first name. Right?
Yes. Elena Goggin and Associates.
Elena Goggin and Associates.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Welcome.
Thank you.
Number 4.
Sage Osa Personal Wellness Center.
Sage Osa.
Yes.
Personal Wellness Center. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sage Osa. Okay. Number 5.
Cindy Cartier, Cartier and Bauer.
Cindy Cartier. Cartier and Bauer?
Yes.
And Bauer. I need to know what that means. And Bauer. Okay. 6.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Sally Tucker. I'm a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker here in Brantford, Connecticut.
Okay, Sally Tucker, Coldwell Banker Real Estate.
That's correct.
Got it. What am I on? 7?
You're going to remember all that?
7. I won't be able to recite everybody's name. Jim Quick, Kwik, one of the most masterful memorization trainers out there. When I see the names again, I will recall their faces. You'll see. If you come to the conference, you'll be amazed. Yeah. Yeah.
He's amazing.
You know him? He's amazing, isn't he?
Lainey Baker, M.H. Baker.
Lainey Baker. M.H. Baker. Lainey. Got it. Okay. 8, I think.
Nancy Ruther, Gazelle International.
Nancy Ruther. Gazelle International.
That's it.
Got it. Welcome.
From Dayton.
And a Buckeye. Okay.
This table has the most people standing.
This table has the most people standing?
And it'll be 11 if you do one extra.
Okay. Okay, so I'm at 9. Is that what I'm on?
Yes. 9, yes.
Am I?
9. And because
She was 9?
yes, and this table has
Okay.
one extra.
She's 9 or she was 9?
She's 8.
She's 9. Okay, 9.
Sherilyn Flannery, Independent Cabbie Consultant.
Sherilyn Flannery, Cabbie. Got it. You're welcome.
Do we read yours?
Yeah. I got something for every member. I'm going to do something for every member. You just wait. Okay. 10. Got it.
Tina Kadish.
And do you have a business?
Yes.
And what is
My
it?
business is called Life is Ideal.
Tina Kadish.
Yes.
Life is Ideal.
Yes.
Got it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Excellent.
You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I receive you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're so
Okay. Yes.
Princess Bola Adelani.
Princess Bola Adelani. Great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Princess Bola Adelani. Okay. I need to order cookies from you. Okay. Right?
Marnie.
See how I remember? I remember from over there. I'm ordering 2 dozen for my staff. $50, right? You're picking out the flavors.
Yes.
I need to give you a credit card.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Marnie Esposito, Moonrocks Gourmet Cookies.
Marnie Esposito, Moonwalks Cookies.
Yep.
Got it. Marnie.
Thank you.
One of my best friend's name is Marnie. I'll remember
that's
that.
unusual.
Exact. It is, actually. What was that? Am I on 12? Is this 13?
13.
Oh my God. Okay. You know what? I may need to do 2 sessions. Oh, Annie, only for you. Okay. All right.
Michelle Moore, MM Advisory Company.
Michelle Moore, MM Advisory Company.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, Michelle, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Okay.
Long name.
Okay.
Kimberly Clemens Jones. Restored Life and the Wanted Project.
Kimberly Clemens Jones. Restored Life and the Clemens Project.
The Wanted Project.
The Wanted Project. Restore Life and the Wanted Project. Let me say that again. On my own. On my
Okay.
own. Restored Life and the Wanted Project.
Yes.
Kimberly Clemens Jones.
Yes.
I got it. Okay. I got it. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm so sorry. You are quiet for the first time in my life. Well, go for it now.
Mary Cavalier, Ava Anderson, non-toxic.
Oh, Mary Cavalier. Ava Anderson, non-toxic? Interesting.
We'll see.
Okay. All right. That's got me curious. It's got me really curious. I'm feeling it. Did you stand up?
No, I didn't.
You'd have bought something at an auction a minute ago. Okay, I think I'm on what, 15? Okay, here we go.
Amy Mosley.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Amy Mosley and Partners Real Estate.
Okay, Amy Mosley, M Partners Real Estate?
No, Amy Mosley and Partners.
Okay. Amy Mosley and Partners Real Estate. Got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay. Sorry. Okay. 16. Here we go. Amy Mosley and Partners Real Estate. Got it.
Susan Bainbridge, Sacred Intelligence.
Susan Bainbridge. Susan Bainbridge, Sacred Intelligence.
Correct.
Got it. Susan Bainbridge. Got it.
Megan Flood, Cabby Clothing.
Megan Flood, Cabby.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Got it. We got one more here.
Lois Krause, Carter Larson, LLC.
Lois Krause. Carter's?
Cardis Larson.
Cardis
Larson.
Larson.
LLC.
Lois Krause. Carter's Lawson, LLC. Got it. Welcome. Welcome, Lois. Okay, I think we got everybody, right? Okay, are we good? So how many new members do we have today? 19. Can we have all the new members please stand? And can all of the members please applaud your new community? Welcome. Oh my God, right? So beautiful. It's so beautiful, right? And here's what I would like to do for all of our members is I'm also going to send you a copy of my book, all right? So I'll get those to you, and then you can give them out at the next meeting. Well, that makes sense. And here's what I would like to do for all of the members today. What I would like to do is, if you would so like, I would like to invite you on my call with the new members so that you can hear. I believe you will find that you'll be able to identify with many of their questions, many of their challenges, many of the things that they're excited about. You can then also listen to how I run kind of my mastermind sessions so you can learn the technique a little bit, right? I'll always peel back the curtain and share everything with you in terms of my business model, right, on how I do things and benefit from the coaching. Would you like that, to be invited? So anyone that is here, okay, if they registered and they are not here, right, they will not be on the call. I think what you just need to know about me is I'm about people that show up. I'm not questioning that there were people that wanted to be here and couldn't be, people that could have been here and didn't want to be. That's not what it's about for me. But what I've learned is that it is those people that show up that get the extra benefits. That's called the extra mile. That's why there's never a traffic jam. Does that make sense? Okay, you got it? Fair enough? We had one member that signed up yesterday online. Okay, so she will be included because she's a new member online. I said that to you earlier, okay, that she would be included in anything that I did. So I'm hoping you feel served today. I'm hoping that you found one thing, right? And I just want to say thank you for the gift of your presence, for hanging in there with me, for giving me your time. I don't take it for granted. And I hope you'll have me back. I hope maybe next year I can come back if you'll have me. Thank you so much. Right? You want to announce? I didn't know if you wanted to announce that today or next time.
Some of my people.
Okay. All right. So I didn't know, I wanted to, sometimes you feel like you have to ask permission for some things, right? And so I just wanted to go ahead and acknowledge, would you please stand, right? And come over here and hold my hand, right? So in Ewomen Network, we have a system where we recognize our top performers. And one of the things that we do, one of our big measures, is when you become an executive managing director. And to be an executive managing director, you have to have grown a chapter to over 100 members. And we came in today with 88 members. We have, I think, what did I hear? 19?
And one last night.
And one last night. So we have 20 new amazing members that have joined this chapter. And Annie will be receiving her Tiffany necklace, as a result. Right? And so I feel like with our 20 members and asking for her permission that this would be a wonderful time just to acknowledge this amazing woman. Shira, you're next. And this amazing woman, and just applaud her for her. I mean, it might even be, I'm going to find out, but I think it's actually a record that you've set. 10 months. Okay. Now you get into the conference and we'll blow them away. Okay? All right. Absolutely. Right? A lot of sleepless nights, right? Right? Exactly. Right. This is yours. Here we go. Okay.
I actually, anybody who knows me, it's not about me. It's all about you. It's you that I see. And I am so honored that you showed up tonight and that you are here. Nancy, thank you. All of you who have come here tonight. But it wasn't because of me. It's because of this one. Because of this one. Because of that one. Because of all of you.
Smile for me.
I cry a lot. Everybody who knows me, I cry a lot. And I'm trying really hard not to cry tonight. Because I am so honored and so blessed to have so many of you. And I don't know what else to say, but thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you stand, please? Going to conference. Do you have those forms filled out? I would like my dear directors that are in the vicinity of where you are to collect those. Bring those up to me. I want those.
Weekend of my hypnosis
And then your
conference, and I'm
application
presenting.
for tonight for new members. I'm not
Next year,
But I'm not going anywhere. I was just going to
And
say.
our next meeting, I just want to tell you, it's not up here, but our next meeting is April, oh my gosh, where are the sheets?